Who's going fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What week? Can you put that cat down?
Yeah.
The cat's in.
I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week.
And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
Got all existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
that's what the Canadians say.
No bueno.
No bueno.
If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no way.
And we are back. This is Bucky, and we are in the current. This is Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you outdoors by connecting you with the skills, products, and people that you can trust.
You can trust them.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this is Bucky. Who do I have with me tonight?
This is Brian.
I'm Will.
Hey, it's Ryan.
This is Dave.
I'm Steve.
Who?
I'm Steve.
I haven't podcast with you in a month of Sundays.
Yeah. Bucky, why don't you tell us about this month's sponsor?
I'll tell you about this month's sponsor. This month's episodes are brought to you in part by Scared Fishless Tackle Company. You'll find everything you need to be successful on the water there. These soft plastics are rugged. Will caught multiple fish on the same 6-inch diamondback worm during our most recent pike and bass trip to New York.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he did.
He slayed
Slaying
'em.
them.
Need a custom color or bait made? Hey guys, they do that too.
Noise.
Check them out at scaredfishless.com.
Scared fishless.
Or on Instagram and the Facebooks at Scared Fishless.
Scared fishless.
Guys,
Buck.
I hate to even say this, but this is the last current of
Say it, David.
Bass-tastic.
Get
It
out.
is. It's
That's
true.
sad. It's sad.
It's okay.
What, you're not in the bass month?
I'm just saying, I like the moving on stuff. I like
The seasons are keep going.
every
right?
day. You know what I mean? It's
I
like
know
a
what you
high,
mean.
it's
Time's
a
on Will's
haiku.
side.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But
I'm in the moment, boys.
we've barely gotten to bass fishing.
Speak for yourself. Some of us have been out.
Well, not everybody can be Ryan and live next to Lake Mead and
What are you talking about?
catfish everybody.
Just because I did it again? What?
Yeah, and
We'll
you
get
probably have the next trip already planned.
No, I don't.
You sure?
Well, I mean, not. I'm good.
It's not sure yet.
What do you guys got going on?
He's not at liberty to say.
It's not in stone, as you will, as you would say.
Figure it out, Bucky.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Okay. Stevie,
Yeah.
He's back.
you've had a heck of a week.
Boy, have I.
Stevie's been to the promised land.
I'm gonna start, and when you guys shut me down, you can just shut me down. That'll be
Gotcha.
it.
All right.
Perfect. This is I'm gonna try to keep it to 6 minutes. my introduction to
Yeah,
6
get
minutes.
ready to put that
Gotcha.
one in the outtakes.
So what you're saying is we should save you for last.
No. Let me get this out because it's been.
Say it, baby.
Are you pent up?
I'm pent up.
Let it go then. Express those glands.
4 days in upstate New York is enough to spoil.
We'll bring a hard man crumble.
Yeah. It makes a hard man crumble, and it spoils bass fishing for state park lakes in Pennsylvania
You know it.
forever. But it was. We were in upstate New York. We left last week and spent 4 days up there. It was an anniversary trip.
I was going to ask, who's we?
My wife and I. Yeah, so this was an anniversary
your
trip.
wife.
10 years. Yeah.
Your
this
wife
month.
have a name?
My wife, Laura.
Thanks, bud.
And Laura loves to kayak and likes to fish. And I love to fish. And if I'm on a kayak, I'm going to
Long
fish
walks on a
kayak.
bulkhead.
Yeah, long walks on the bulkhead. So we got her a new kayak this year, specifically for going up there. And on the way up, I had to tell you guys,
So
Pennsylvania.
you spent a chunk of cheese just to go on this trip.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. She keeps track of all that. Thank goodness.
But you don't typically prepare. I mean, unless it's terminal tackles.
Yeah,
or
I had
bait.
I had the fishing stuff.
But I'm saying
under
you don't
wraps.
spend the money. But you actually you got a kayak for this trip.
Yeah, she has an older sitting kayak that is older one.
Yeah,
and it wasn't real comfortable, and so we got her an Ascend 10T, which is a sit on top one. It's 10 foot. It's easy enough for me to, it's easy enough for us to hoist her around by ourselves. Easy enough for me to borrow, and I can, yeah.
That's a nice kayak.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It was a very comfortable seat for her and has some rod holders and a big, some open space there. So we're excited to take it up there. The drive up to New York is beautiful. Once you get past Harrisburg, Williamsport area, that's just
You went up 15.
Yeah, that is a beautiful drive.
You're in the northern Pennsylvania mountains for a little while.
Oh my goodness!
And then you hit that Watkins Glen area, and then you're just in the Finger Lakes. It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and we stopped in at Seneca Lake on the way up.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Is that the lake in northern Pennsylvania right before you cross the border?
No, that's in the Finger Lakes. That's right at Watkins Glen. So we stopped the southern part of Seneca Lake in Watkins Glen, and I have never. There's clear reservoirs and stuff like that here in Pennsylvania, but not like that.
No way.
And that's a pretty deep one too.
Clearer than the one.
Oh, it was
the pine.
Oh yeah,
pine
yeah.
Just gin clear.
It was gin clear.
I don't mean to get into plate tectonics and geography or anything, but
however,
weren't those Finger Lakes created by glaciers?
I think that's what they say,
and that's why they're gouged so deep. And
it's a plate tectonics.
And
I will go with tectonics. Yeah, I don't mean
glaciers, not tectonics. It's really not. But I just wanted to sound fancy and scientific.
Glacial tectonics.
Nice job, Bill Nye.
Yeah.
On the way up, it started getting breezy, and we actually went to the wrong place to launch the kayaks, and but the people up there are just super friendly and helped us find the right place. There's not and maybe we're just in the wrong areas, but here there's boat launches in very specific locations where you launch a kayak or a boat. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that. It was, here's an open spot, put your kayak in. And that was really what we did. It was, and so we're at the southern part of the lake, super clear, but it was windy. So I was very nervous about going out in a new body of water that's, there's big boats and all that. So we ended up going into this canal, and then which was very calm, and then from this canal into this creek, which was even calmer. And I sent you guys some pictures.
Oh, is that where that picture came from?
Yeah. So within 5 minutes of getting in that creek, my wife caught a largemouth, and then we caught some smallmouth in there. But just the nature that we saw was, we saw an otter, a bunch of woodpeckers, a deer. It's just, I don't know. It was nice. It was really
nice,
really beautiful. So we were only there for 2 hours, but it was. I'd go back there in a heartbeat.
This was just a stop to get out and stretch your legs, huh?
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. So we needed to be in Port Bay, which is where we were staying, which is a little bit east, about 20 minutes east of Sodus Bay.
I couldn't find that.
Oh yeah, it's right there. No, it's there. It was easy. Wolcott is the name of the town we stayed in.
Yeah, there's some cliffs between Sodus and that bay.
We'll get to that because that is
stellar.
That's 4 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 minutes away. That's
driving
amazing.
Or in the podcast?
In the podcast.
Okay.
So Dave, I'm honestly, guys, this could be 4 episodes, but I am really trying to
hit it
through
hard, buddy.
Well, those cliffs we could see from Captain Jimmy's boat when we were out in Lake Ontario.
Oh, those cliffs.
Yeah.
Truth.
Chimney Bluffs. It's
That's it.
Oh my goodness. So we're staying on Port Bay, which is a little bit east of Sodus Bay, and we're staying on the east side of the bay. We get to this cottage, and it was a small 2-bedroom cottage. It was a nice place right on the bay.
Did you get that on the VROBs or?
I don't know where my wife got it. She found it somewhere on the internet, so I'm not really sure.
Just checking.
But nice cottage, had its own boat launch, its own dock. It was perfectly set up for us. But when we get there, the guy shows us the house and all the
Fixins.
all the fixins.
Accoutrement.
But the wind is blowing from the south, so it's blowing from south to north. So you can imagine kind of pushing the water towards Lake Ontario.
Right.
And it was just too choppy for us to put our kayaks in. So we didn't unpack. We didn't do anything. We were hungry and went to the other side of the bay, the west side of the bay, in this cove to a restaurant. I was eating at the restaurant, and the guy that runs it started talking to us and asking questions because we still had the kayaks on the roof.
Right.
And I asked him if there was a public place where we could launch. Well, there's not really like public launches.
Right.
But the restaurant had a boat launch.
He goes right
Go
there.
figure. He's like, yeah, bud, just launch him right here. So we did, and it was a small bay, and it was under a mile paddle from where we were staying. It was a small cove in this bay, but it was on the other side of the bay, so it was blocked from the wind. So it was perfect. A lot of weeds, which remember that. Tons of weeds.
How could you forget?
It was weeds.
Weed
City.
City. It didn't catch much in that area.
Bucky perked up.
I had a blow up on a hollow bodied frog, but nothing else. I gave my wife a Ned rig because I wanted her to have something that
Would break off
catch
every
something
2 or
that
3.
would break off, but you could work it kind of fast, or you could move it. There's
It's good locating bait.
yeah.
That's what I gave Adventure Jimmy when we took him out. It's an easy go-to.
She wasn't catching anything, and I really wanted her to.
bad.
I really wanted her to catch fish. I was using bigger baits, and I was more concerned about catching bigger fish than I was just catching. So we went back into this small creek, and I mean, you could see Lake Ontario from this. Was what was crazy the whole time. You can see it. It's incredible. So we're in this small creek, and I give her a Texas rig Senko, or a weedless rig Senko, and she just starts green pumpkin, yeah.
Nice.
And she just starts yanking in largemouth.
Really?
And any one of those fish would have won, the lunker at any of the local, bass tournaments.
awesome.
It was just crazy how and she doesn't fish a lot, but she's okay. She's good. For as much as she fishes, she's good. And she was catching a bunch of bass.
When she was doing it, was she just...
She was loving it.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. That was like my real goal, was to get her. We have 3 kids. She doesn't get much time to relax. Like, honestly, she rarely does.
Right.
And I wanted her to, have time to relax. And I was more concerned about her catching fish and having a good time than me, quite frankly.
I don't know how you do that. 250 yards down the way with,
It was tough. It was.
He was scouting.
Tough. It was tough.
Oh, you're scouting.
He was scouting,
but
right,
over
Stevie?
here.
So I had a real heavy rod with a heavier whopper plopper on it, and I'm just casting around. It's starting to get dark. It was like 7. No, but it's about 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark. We didn't have any kind of lights or nothing on the kayak, and I said it's time for us to start paddling back, because we were maybe a 10-minute paddle away, and I'm just throwing this big water. It was a whopper plopper 110, and I was just getting ready to say to her, if I throw this enough, I'm eventually just going to catch something. And before I could get those words out of my mouth, boom, big bass. I don't know what it was.
Really?
4 or 5 pounder. It was, I would have fell out of my boat if I had caught that back home. Nice bass. And so I'm, pretty excited. And we're getting ready to start paddling back. And mind you, we're only 400 or 500 yards away from where we put in at this point. And I start seeing this huge blow-ups a couple hundred yards away from me.
Tell me
familiar.
about those blow-ups.
And it was like somebody was shooting
Cannonball.
cannon. Yeah, exactly. And it's freaking me out. So I start paddling a little closer.
Cannonballs with oars sticking out, so they slap real good when it hits.
And it's in the weeds. And I get close to it, and I cast and just end up with a bunch of weeds on it. And this is my whopper plopper
in the weeds.
I wasn't ready.
You didn't weed that hookless?
No, I was not expecting. I did not weed it hookless.
Bless your heart.
How'd that
I didn't
work?
weed it hookless.
Good. I'm glad you didn't weed it hookless.
Looking back, I should have, but I wasn't prepared for that. So
'Cause you were hooked weedless.
I'm freaking out because it's this is happening, and it's getting darker. And I chase down this one big splash and cast and land right on top of it, and it hits it. And I almost if I would have had like a heart condition, I would not have made it back.
No way.
Like it was incredible. And this is a medium heavy rod. It's like a 7.1 or 7.2, big rod, a stout rod. And I have the drag cranked all the way down.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, because why wouldn't you?
Horse them in.
I got a 50-pound line on.
It's getting dark.
That does not.
I got regs to worry about.
That does not work well with pike. And it's what this turned out to be. And I'm not kidding, boys. It felt like at times that I had a cinder block on the end of this. And you can imagine, I mean, it's pulling me around and I'm freaking out, just screaming. I don't know what I was speaking in some kind of strange language. Yeah. And my wife's trying to film it. She's trying to take pictures and the phone's not working and my GoPro's screwed up. But we land it and I was just.
How'd you land it? Did you have trouble?
No, it was pretty tired.
Yeah.
It was pretty tired. I got its head out of the water and got under the gill plate.
Good for you.
And
that's a step.
Yeah. Well, I have those grip pliers things.
But I'm saying,
I couldn't.
Yeah, just get it.
I couldn't find them. Like, I don't want to mess with it. I'll just
get it out of the water.
Just get out of the water. So we got it out, and it was a miracle. It was only hooked by one treble at the top. At the front of its mouth. It was barely on there.
Yeah.
But we got it. And
awesome.
But the best part of the story is, so I put the pike back in and that's when I released the pike. That's when it really started going crazy. And it's dark to the point where I can't really see around me. When I'm casting the bait caster, I can't see where my lure's going, so I don't know when to stop, when to thumb the reel. But it just started going off. Every direction around me, there's cannonballs, and I could see enough.
Seriously,
this stuff was hitting the bottom of the kayak. Like I'm not lying.
Is it jaws like knocking?
It was bang hitting the bottom of the kayak. I was hooking fish, and they were coming off because there's weeds. Just the whopper plopper was getting so balled up with weeds. There were times I was reeling in the whopper plopper, and it's 10 feet off my kayak, and I'm lifting it out of the water, and it's covered in weeds,
and it's getting hit.
And fish are jumping up at it.
No way.
And
That's awesome.
It was incredible. I'm getting bit up by mosquitoes, and it was just. But I didn't feel any of it.
Stevie, that's the first time I think I've ever heard of a successful cast into where a fish is surfaced and then a strike right after.
It was on top of it.
Well, I do
I've seen people do it.
That's how JDC got his
I've
striker.
done it, and I've seen everybody do it. But did JDC do it right into that blow up there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Popper.
I stand corrected then.
Yeah, but
you
when
don't
they
hear
do
about
that,
it.
It's like you told me where you are.
But it never happens to me. I've done it, and I've never been successful at it.
It was everywhere. And if I would have had like a weedless frog on or something like that, I would have been much more. And I did. And I had one right behind me.
One of the 10 rods that were on that kayak had to have it on.
I did. And I don't know. I just blacked out. I just blacked out and was casting and going crazy, and I wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah.
And
you channeled Larry Dahlberg, and you were like,
goodness,
in heaven.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
good for you.
So that day ended, and I'm on cloud 9, and I slept until 7:30 the next morning, and go to the fish off the dock.
Yeah,
in
you were
the morning.
just right on the dock.
Yeah, so I go to fish down there at 7:30, and
that's where
Tommy used to work.
He was there
until the union
went on
strike. He's down on his luck.
It's tough. So tough.
So I'm on the dock, and it's just these 2 hours. I won't go into all the detail, but these 2 hours were absolutely.
Walk us through it minute by minute.
The best 2 hours of bass fishing I've ever had in my entire life.
The night before was amazing.
This beat it. It was the best 2 hours of bass fishing.
Really?
I must have caught 15 bass or something like that, and maybe one of them would have been comparable to something that I normally catch. The other ones were just
boy howdy.
Above and beyond that.
So even the stuff that was relatively close in size to what you're catching around here on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
How'd they fight?
Like
10 times
kung fu.
harder.
It's crazy.
I
isn't
don't
it?
know what
Kung
it
fu
was.
fighting.
Yeah, 10 times harder.
Was it the similar kind of bigger, muscly, shorter, fat
Yeah, and
that we were catching?
yeah. There's some of them were like that. Some of them were longer, but it was. They all had shoulders, I guess, and
No neck.
no neck. It was all shoulders. But you're throwing one thing and catch a few, it stops. You change out, try something else, catch a few, it stops, change out, and it was like that for 2 hours.
That's outstanding.
And
That sounds exactly like you guys said.
and
Yep.
I'm not lying.
Not
Best
too far off, but it sounds like his was a hair better.
standing on the dock. But here's where things kind of change gears. Is at about 10 o'clock on Thursday,
Downshifted.
yeah, a cold front started moving in.
Okay.
The wind direction changed. The temperature of the water dropped like 4 degrees, and which I don't know how that's possible, but it did. And at least according to my deeper, the water,
deeper.
the water temperature dropped like 4 degrees. Air temperature dropped like 10 degrees, and the winds picked up about 100 miles an hour.
Oh boy.
So the
Sounds
rest,
like you should go shopping.
yeah, the rest of that day was spent. There's not. Where do you shop at Sodus Point? There's one store. There's one store which we went to, and we went to the light. We did the touristy things and knocked that out in 3 hours. So the next day was more of that. A lot of wind. I'll tell you what. When you have, my SUV. Our SUV is pretty big, and you have
You could feel it when you're driving.
2 10-foot kayaks on the top of that.
Yeah.
And we went down some roads, and I'm like, we got to turn around and go a different way, because I had those tie down ropes that ran from the kayak to the front.
Were they zizzing?
You could see those things moving. I'm like, I'm not risking. I didn't buy the most expensive
What?
tie down equipment.
Get out.
If
You
you,
gotta be
could
kidding
imagine that, But yeah, so that was a little nerve wracking. But check your regs as far as how to tie down a kayak, because it's yeah.
Did you get that vibration? Just brrr, that flutter?
You name it. It was loud. It was
Yeah.
the whole thing was moving around. But
Nice.
that evening, the wind direction changed, and it really opened up. It opened up us to be able to fish in the area where we were staying, in that part of the bay, because it was blowing from the other side.
Okay.
And without realizing it, we get to the far end of Port Bay, the south end of Port Bay, and it's lots of weeds, and it's getting close to 9 o'clock. It's getting dark. And I'm like, Laura, we got to start paddling back because it's getting dark, and she's
then
upset.
The cannonballs start
And
flying.
then they start again. And I'm right there. I was just there. Like, these fish can't be here all day long. But same thing, same situation. Didn't have a weedless frog tied on us. I wasn't, even expecting that to happen. But yeah, it was the same thing. And they're everywhere blowing up.
Did you pull any more in that? On top
I hooked a good one, but it shook it. They're just can't get a real good hook set full of weeds, with a mouthful of weeds. And the next day, we put the kayaks in on Lake Ontario so we could see that Chimney Bluffs area. And I don't know how, that's another thing that, supposedly the side of the mountain was carved out by a glacier or something like that. We hiked it a few days before that, and that was a pretty cool hike. But to see it on the lake,
Sure, that'd be cool.
was even more interesting. And I've heard people say, to be careful on the Great Lakes because the weather can change, and the conditions can change pretty quick. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
We were out there maybe 20 yards off the bank, 30 yards, and all at once the wind starts blowing, and you go from calm water to a foot waves,
Big chop.
big chop, and it's coming up over the bow, and that ended that pretty quick. But no. Amazing trip, amazing area. We're definitely going back. I saw the tackle shop you guys hung out
where
in.
we stayed.
Yeah, I had to go in there, and I didn't need anything, but ended up spending a bunch of money. There was another place up there on Port Bay called R2's, and the lady there she helped us out like you wouldn't believe. And you end up spending a lot on stuff you don't need.
I should have sent those big rapalas
that we bought up there. I should
Did
have sent
you?
them up with you. And big yellow ones right behind you.
I was using one of the things that worked best on the day I had a good day was like a 6-inch jerk bait.
Yeah.
And they were destroying that. But I'm almost glad that I only had one fantastic day fishing from the dock, or else it would have.
Me too.
It would have
take up the whole podcast.
But if you're even thinking about fishing on the Great Lakes, you got to get up there. Go.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good trip.
Yeah. I could talk for days about it.
That's cool though, because what that actually does. How far would you say that bay is from Sodus, where you saw where we were staying?
It was to drive from our place to like that tackle shop where you guys stayed was about 20 minutes.
See,
It's not bad.
that opens up more possibilities. And if we go up and we do a long weekend, and the wind hits wrong for this or right for that, it gives us more options.
And that's what I learned. And I never really paid much attention to wind direction, but even when we could still find places to kayak.
Yep.
No, and the wind had to be blowing 20, 30 miles an hour. We could still find places to kayak because there's so much water up there. So yeah, there's lots of options.
The extra time that Catfish and I put on Sodus Bay this year, we found that the eastern side of the bay, at least the stretch that we went through when we were pitching docks, is completely different than the western side.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually like a sandy bottom versus the rocks and the grass with the weeds and stuff. And we just weren't hitting the same kind of fish we did. Now, when we trolled a little bit further off, but just as far as pitching docks go, the western side wasn't producing, or the eastern side rather, wasn't producing as well. So we get up there in one of those situations, maybe we jump over to the other bay where the eastern side is nicer.
We tried to stay around 10, 12 foot or whatever.
For the distance. Yeah, or for the depth, rather.
Yeah.
There were no other, up until Saturday. We left Sunday morning, but up until Saturday, I saw one or two other boats. Like there was nobody
crazy,
fishing,
right?
nobody boat, nobody. And I couldn't figure it out. But there's boats everywhere, but nobody was out. I don't know why.
It's a magical place.
Even on Saturday, there I think I saw 2 or 3, 4 boats. Nothing like you'd compare it to a weekend anywhere in central Pennsylvania. That is all. That's all I have to say about
6 minutes. You hit it. You hit exactly 6 minutes.
Nailed
That was
it.
impressive.
6 minutes in 3 parts.
I'm glad you had fun, bud.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Thanks.
great trip, bud.
And because your wife had such a good time, and it was relaxing,
You'll be able to go back.
She wants
she won't
to go
fight
back.
it. So that's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going back.
Perfect.
Probably gonna go with you.
You're welcome to.
All right.
There's an extra bedroom in that place we stayed.
Oh,
And a pull-out couch.
I
We
can
could just
come
make
in.
it a podcast trip.
You can sit on the kayak up on top.
She'd love
hold it
that.
down.
Yeah.
Don't blow away.
Speaking of kayaks,
oh yeah.
B,
Yeah.
can I call you B?
Of course.
Yeah.
You just did.
How's your weekend?
I've been getting out. Did a couple trips on the Conica jig. Actually, hooked up with a friend and a listener of the podcast, Mr. Greg Kreps.
Oh,
Yeah. We were able
How's
to get out.
Krebs?
He's doing pretty good.
that's where I got my namesake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Panda.
assigned me that nomiker.
Oh, yeah?
Of Trash Panda.
Yeah. So Greg and I got hooked up and fished the day on Saturday, and didn't do too bad. Caught a couple decent sized fish and was able to move up the leaderboard on my kayak bass fishing tournament.
Where are you?
Right now, currently I am standing in 5th place. Yeah, so I moved down. I was in
I was going to
first.
say, I thought you were a little higher.
Yeah, I was, but there's a lot of good anglers, a lot of good fishermen in this tournament. And I
some
held
of the
first
best.
place down for about 48 hours.
Did you?
I did. I did.
Good on you, bud.
Yeah.
Well, how many
yeah.
inches is separating you from first?
First place right now looks like 84 inches with a 5-fish limit. And then I'm down in 5th at 78 inches.
5 inches. That's nothing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta upgrade. So my smallest right now is 14 and a half with my biggest at 17 and a quarter. So there's a couple guys out there that putting up 20-inch smallmouth,
You
19
get a
and a
couple
half.
20s, you're back in it.
Yeah, that's easier said than done.
Oh, you got this.
So I've been out a few times. One.
Hey, can you use bait, or is it artificial only?
The regulations of the tournament doesn't state. So
Really?
yeah. As long as you're on the kayak and as long as you have that identifier and you're in the right location, the location that they're allowed, you're good. So
So you couldn't run up to New York real quick?
no, I couldn't. Yeah, I'd have to do some tech savvy.
Changing the
In
GPS,
the GPS
locations
coordinates, yeah.
Bucky
You have to
knows
have
a guy.
that. Yeah,
I was just going to say, just get a good live well
yeah,
and bring that fish on back.
yeah. I should have a.
Bucky
state
thought
lines, I'm
way
not
too
sure.
much about this.
I'm not sure that's legal.
Well, we're already breaking the rules, bud.
Check your regs.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the rules that are set by
There you go.
the tournament. I should have a 15 or a 16 on there, but every time I pack my kayak up and bring my gear inside the house, I have a fish grip that I have a leash, a tether, to help me measure my fish. And when I land the fish and get it in the net, I put the fish grip on it and put it over the edge of the kayak, so that way it stays in the water and allows it to be fresh and not stress it at all.
Sure.
Grab my my hog trough and I realized it wasn't attached, and so I didn't want to certainly lose it, because if that goes to the bottom of the creek, no matter how many fish you catch, you're not logging anything. So I reached back around and I have a carabiner. And I go to clip the hog trough on the carabiner and snip it on. And I go back, grab my camera, pull my camera out, got everything set up. I turn back around to grab the fish grip, and the fish grip is gone. Apparently, when I snapped the carabiner to put my hog trough on,
It came off.
That's
did.
beautiful
It
water
did.
in the carabiner.
I know, right?
You get
wife
me
and I
within
got
about
married
20
down there.
yards, bud. I think I can find those fish grips for you.
Oh,
in
it
that
was
river.
a red, white, and blue fish grip with a
I don't know
neon
if lightning
green.
can strike twice.
But I was sick to my stomach. That was my first fish of the morning, and it was probably 10 or 15 casts in, and I landed this fish, and it was a good fish. I'm guesstimating it was 15.
27.
It was at least 15. But when I turned around and Greg was upriver, upstream ahead of me, I said, "Greg, you're not going to believe what I did." And
Is he in this tournament?
No, he isn't. He's not. But
He's just what do they call it in the FLWs?
He's a pirate.
A co-angler.
co-angler. Yeah.
Pirate
No,
of the Carabiner.
I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out for the day, and we hadn't
You've been
fished
waiting
yet.
to get that one out.
Yeah.
We hadn't fished yet this year, so I gave him a text or a call and said, "Hey, I'm going to be floating, so if you want to meet me there."
Don't they let you use the honor system in this kayak tournament? You couldn't say I had one, but it.
Well, you got to have a picture. You got to have a picture with the identifier. But unfortunately, I learned.
Really, I had it.
I learned a lesson. I learned that before I get into the kayak, I'm going to double check, make sure everything's attached. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to have one attachment point for every item in the boat.
Individually.
So that absolutely.
It's like a pilot's checklist.
That's it.
Pre-float
That's it.
checklist.
Pre-float.
Shoot, I even get close to rolling mine and everything's going.
Yeah,
don't
I
anything
have
tied down.
carabiners.
Oh, it's all in
and-
grocery bags.
I did have a few grocery bags. Yeah.
So, but I was able to get out one more time. I did land I did a solo float later in the week and landed a 17-inch. So fishing's been hot, and then it's been dead.
What's working? Your crankbait. You cranking it?
Yeah, cranking
Shallow
it.
cranking.
Yep, crankbait. Now that the water level's going down, there's some grass, and the crankbait's getting caught up in the grass. So I'm going to the bladed jig or the
Did your water
chatterbait.
go up today?
I'm sorry.
Did your creeks go up today?
Yeah.
It's madness. Did you see that?
It's supposed to go up to 10 or 11, isn't it?
The
next
river,
couple
yeah.
days,
River, yeah.
Yeah, it was about 2.5 feet whenever we floated it, and today I think it was almost close to 3. But yeah, this weekend I'm
Cry me a river, bud. 2.5 to 3.
Yeah,
Cry me a 12-foot river.
Yeah. Right back up. Chocolate milk.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. I'm
That's good.
still competing, and my goal was the top 5 for the year.
Well, you're there,
so I'm in
man.
5 now, and we'll see what happens. We have another week or 2.
How long? Also, it's almost over.
Well, just
Oh,
for the month. Yeah, and then
Okay.
we'll start up in July again, and I'll enter the
Okay.
contest. Everybody will go to 0. This is the most competitors that has been in this tournament since I've been in. There's let me see. There's 18 guys in this month's tournament.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm competing
Cool.
against 17 other guys. So
Well, that's pretty good then.
Good luck.
yep,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
I can't wait till you land at 325s next time you go out.
Oh, I'd
Yeah.
love to. I'd love to.
Run away with this thing.
I bet you. I don't think that you're fishing the kaplooshes, like the splashing fish.
No, they're not kaplooshin.
They're not at all.
Cannonball.
No completion.
No, last night we were out right at dark, and there was nothing, no topwater action at all.
Really?
How about
Yeah.
lily pushings?
No lily pads there.
That was amazing up there, dude. It just like it was.
Here we go again.
It was, and it happened like at the
Where's
same
this at,
time.
Stevie?
This was up at Sodus Point.
Were you
it
fishing the
happened at the
docks?
same time? Like it just all at once. There's bombs going off all around. You can't see. You don't know where they're going.
Like explosive.
Yeah,
Kaploosh.
completion. Sorry to bring that up again.
No, I love it because what Will and I experienced this year was like the onset of that topwater
Yeah.
thing starting to happen.
I can't imagine.
Because we weren't surrounded by it and it didn't trigger at a certain point. But like in the morning,
we had a moment.
It was
was-
only in the weeds.
it was just
though.
here and there. Like these were everywhere.
Do you think
Right
they were?
in the weeds.
Do you think they were spawning in there?
Here's what I think. And this is
Tell us.
Here's what I think. I'm sorry to go back to this. There were lots of bugs
Plate
around
tectonics.
these weeds areas. And I could start to see little fish rising. And I think that when the bugs came out at night, the bait fish were eating the bugs on the surface, and then the bigger fish were eating the bait
Fish
fish.
rising.
My thoughts exactly. I feel bad for Bogart in this whole episode.
No,
so-
Bogart away, bud.
Sorry,
happens
Brian.
Every time we're used to it.
You were down south too, over in Brian's stomping grounds, weren't you, Bubby?
South of the Mason-Dixon, I thought
did.
I saw.
I did. And not too far away. And all I could think about was fishing. But I didn't fish.
That's the
You were
worst.
scouting.
You sent some pictures
That's
of some
the
places that
worst.
looked pretty fishy.
It looked smallmouthy. And is that accurate?
Why
Are
do
you guys
do that
aware
to
of that?
yourself?
It is smallmouthy, yeah.
Oh,
What, in West Virginia where Will was?
You're speaking of the Harpers Ferry area.
yeah.
Is it?
Harpers Ferry.
It looked.
Harpers Ferry.
It's the confluence of two major rivers.
Which what?
Yeah.
what-
Go on.
what
That's where they
rivers
come
is that?
together.
Oh, where they confluence.
Yeah.
Which two conflicted?
Is it the Potomac and the
Shenandoah.
Shenandoah come
Yeah.
together?
Really?
So after that, that's continuation of the Potomac, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where the Shenandoah
dumps
ends.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is like all of the rock and the
Oh, man.
ledges that we have.
Yeah.
They have that all exposed right now.
No, they don't
Everything's
either.
out there and there's a little bit of rapids. There's a lot of people rafting. I don't think
It's not wet.
Anytime I
wading
think
territory.
of like Harpers Ferry, I think of nothing but like people sitting in rafts and like with a cooler for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So like it has to be like 50% pee by the end of, like at the takeout.
yeah.
still
Minimum.
I don't think that
This smallmouth would care.
I don't think they would care because there's so much traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not going to be spooked by wet waders.
You think it's shallow enough to wade?
It's 100% shallow.
You can
shallow
see, like,
enough.
it-
shallow. It's like a Lady Gaga song.
We're in the shallow now.
So how far away is that from you, Brian?
That's about 30 minutes.
So that's
Really?
that's
What?
we should, but that's Maryland, right?
Would we ever just be able to stay over?
Yeah,
at
the
your
license.
house?
Yeah, sure. The
Camp
licenses are reciprocal. So if you have a Maryland license, you're allowed to fish because you're
West
on-
Virginia and Virginia.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
But Pennsylvania doesn't reciprocate that,
No.
do we?
Well, they're literally they are all there. You're in 3 states.
Yeah.
You're in like 9 national parks if you're standing in one spot
Good
over
night.
there.
Did you hike up to Maryland Heights?
I didn't. No,
That's a hike. That's awesome though.
they had. Well, we had every intention to, but they had an area roped off because there was osprey or something like that were
Osprey.
nesting there.
Okay. I thought you said offspray.
They had to shut the power down up in New York at the restaurant because they were getting rid of an osprey nest.
Really?
Yeah.
They had nesting.
Sorry to bring that
Yeah.
up again.
Yeah, well,
Is that where they had all that blow ups in the weeds?
It was right after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After
You guys
the-
had a candlelit dinner because they had to turn the power off.
They almost had to.
But like you got into some biking, some hiking.
I did. I'm gonna have an issue with my cousin if he keeps it up.
I'm trying to bring it back.
But we couldn't. They told us about it, and that view is like worth $1 billion.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And if you can't get to it, it's what's the point?
Yeah.
So we ended up. No matter what you do there, you're gonna find something amazing and beautiful to look at.
That's cool.
It is a pretty magical place. I would love to go back. I'd love to fish. Leanne and I had a great time. We did the C&O on the bikes. We rode a decent portion of that on the bikes. Got some,
You didn't rent bikes down there?
saddle
Saddle-sores.
Did you?
You forgot the gel bike pad.
No, I did everything I know
Did you get
to
that
do.
spray?
It doesn't matter what you do
Really?
or what you prepare for. It's always going to be some tender.
Unless you're
Calloused
you're
up.
Yes.
When's
seasoned.
the last time
You
you were
have
on
a
a bike that long?
Not. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's like a baseball mitt. You can bake it in the oven as long as you want, but you got to throw a couple pitches into it before it's really broken in.
I always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been preaching that for years.
But the Harpers Ferry is one of the most hiked or walked areas in the country. And another statistic they can tout. And it was so cool. I don't typically get terribly physical on a lot of vacations.
Yeah.
But I beat the crap out of myself.
So just one question for you, then we can wrap this up.
I'm sure.
Did they have rock bass down there? Because I caught quite a few rock bass.
I'm sure they do.
Oh, you are something else.
Those red
Bless
eyes.
your heart.
Goggle eye,
Hey,
we called him.
Stevie, did you catch any crabs in New York?
I did not.
Oh,
I didn't go
okay.
crabbing.
Well, I went crabbing in Delaware.
How'd that go, Deaky?
It was slow.
Well, at least he can't roll in on yours.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did a little crabbing Saturday. I caught a lot of crabs that were undersized.
Did you?
Probably like 4 dozen. Only 4 keepers.
Wow.
But I tried something
It's a
new.
half a meal.
I know. I had
A Happy Meal?
It was
Happy
a side
Meal.
with my steak for dinner. You know?
Oh.
But I was catching some white perch in the same spot. And I was actually doing that well with white perch. It was like distracting me from checking crab traps. But it's a good little morning. Tried something completely new with cooking crabs.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked different.
Yeah, I cleaned the crab. So like
That's
you
new.
like normally
bathed it?
Like normally when you steam crabs, you can rinse them. Some people scrub them off, but this was actually like
You pop the lid and
you pop the lid, you clean out the guts, the mustard, the lungs,
Yeah.
and then
Checked
steam
under the
them.
hood.
Yeah. So and I liked it. It was good. It was pretty tasty. I think it tasted better that way. So it's a little bit more work.
Yeah.
And I think picking them still the same though. You have just as much mess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
What else did you catch?
White perch.
Did you catch any yellow perch?
No.
I caught a few yellow perch out
Did
there.
you catch some yellow
Yeah,
perch?
there you
Okay.
go. Yeah. I like crab. We got to do that. We should do that.
Crabbing.
more.
I haven't
Krebs.
done
Krebs.
like crabbing from a bridge in a long time, and that was fun.
How many did you chicken necks?
Yes, chicken necks. I had like 7 traps out.
Yeah.
You know, you just kind of walk back and forth the bridge, check them.
Is that the open trap? They like
Yeah,
the doors that fly open and
they're like the topless traps.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
It's like 4 doors that open when it hits the bottom.
okay.
So yeah, it was a good time. There's another guy there. He actually beat me there. I got there at 5:30. He was already there and set up.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
He do
crabbed
it-
from like 5:30 till 11.
How many necks do you go through? What's your neck per hour usage?
I think I went through like 14, 15 necks
That's
through
not
the
bad.
morning.
Now, are you cutting those necks in half to stretch them out?
Nope.
All right.
Whole necks.
You were on an anniversary trip, Stevie. Did you do any necking? Up?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
How many necks you get there?
Did you cut those in half?
14.
14 necks in a couple hour
In a
period.
couple hours.
It gets you there,
I
buddy.
was using some of the purchase bait too, and that
Oh, yeah.
that seemed to like kick it up a notch.
Purchase bait.
Bam.
I was catching white perch and I was keeping them and using them as bait in the crab traps.
No way.
It worked pretty well. But that's about it for my weekend.
Is that what you caught the big ones on?
Oh, yeah, actually.
No kidding.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Tip of the week. Thanks.
Tip of the week.
White perch.
Good on you, boys.
Did anyone do anything else this week?
Ryan.
I don't have anything that Stevie
Alrighty.
could possibly tie into, so I think I'm good.
You know what that means, boys?
What's that?
I think that we did this current some justice.
I believe you may be right.
At least Stevie did.
Oh,
I,
call him the ringer, the neck ringer.
anybody could catch bass up there.
I proved that.
As long as you have a whopper.
I was going to say, don't make
Yeah.
me go up there.
Yeah. I caught some blue, like 3 different types of sunfish up there too. Red ears, pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bluegill.
You know what? I'm
Stevie,
Yeah.
What'd you catch the rock bass on?
I caught one on that chicken rig I was using,
I don't know
and
what that means.
and it's like a kind of a finesse rig, and one on what was it? It was
Mr.
Ned
Twister.
rig maybe. Yeah, I don't remember.
You don't use Ned rigs.
I don't like to talk about using Ned rigs.
He uses whatever catches
state.
fish.
Yeah,
Use them when he's out of state.
yeah. When I'm out of state, all bets are off.
All right, cool.
hey Stevie, when you're out of state, how do you find Rhett and River Pursuits podcast?
Oh, you know what I do?
What do you do, bud?
I hop on over to RhettonRiverPursuits.com, or I go on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and just search Rhett River Pursuits. And when I really need a good fixin',
Where do you go?
I hit up them YouTubes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Just search Rhett River Pursuits podcast. Hey, don't forget.
This episode is brought to you in part by Smokin' the Grove Barbecue Festival.
Smoking the Grove.
That's being held July 26th and 27th in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. For more information, head over to smokingthegrove.com.
SmokingTheGrove.com.
Love me them burn ends. Mm-hmm. And it's also brought to you in part by Moses Family Jerky.
Get out of town.
Oh, yeah. Get 15% off your next order by heading over to mfjerky.com. Make sure you use that promo code JerkyPursuits15.
Guys, like Will said, justice has been served.
Nailed it.
Yep.
We got to roll out of here.
Good job, boys.
I had probably the best prime rib I've ever had in my life up there. Right?
Somebody get us out of here. We're never going to get
It
into
was
this.
good.
How was the salad?
Oh, my gosh. Let's get to dessert and coffee and get out of here, guys. Come on.
We did have this dessert.
Peace. Rigor Wheatlands.
Dessert pizza.
Yeah, there's some cliffs between Sodus and that bay.
We'll get to that because that is
Stellar.
that's 4 minutes away.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 minutes away. That's
Driving
amazing.
or in the podcast?
In the podcast.
Okay.
So Dave, I'm honestly, guys, this could be 4 episodes, but I am really trying to
Hit
get
it
through
hard, buddy.
a stout rod, and I have the drag cranked all the way down.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, because I don't. I just why wouldn't you?
Horse them in.
Horse them in. I got a 50-pound line on.
It's getting dark.
That does not.
I got regs to worry about.
That does not work well with pike.
Greg, you're not going to believe what I did. And
Is he in this tournament?
No, he isn't. He isn't. He's not.
He's just what do they call it in the FLWs?
He's a pirate.
A co-angler.
Co-angler. Yeah, yeah.
Pirate
No,
of the Carabiner.
I wanted to get out.
You were on an anniversary trip, Stevie. Did you do any necking? Up?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
How many necks you get there?
Did you cut those in half?
14.